Welcome in, all you Wednesday wackos. It's the live chat. This week is AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. I'm ready to rock and roll. It's been, the last couple weeks, we've been doing Tuesdays. I've been traveling. I was just in Florida at PGA Tour Studios. We're back to Wednesdays. Who knows? Might be Wednesday next week. Might be Tuesday next week. I don't know. But you guys have been very good at showing up and being flexible with me. So that is very much appreciated. I also saw bad news out of the gate. I saw that StreamYard did the thing where it reset all the comments. So when I checked yesterday, there was a bunch of comments in here. When I opened it up today, the last comment only goes back like an hour ago. So I'm sorry if you preloaded your question. If you're still here, go ahead and resubmit it, because I did see that it looks like they got reset about an hour ago. Because the earliest one that I see now is 11:05 a.m. So sorry peeps. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. The next hour or so is your time. I'm gonna go through the questions. I'll go through the concerns, the comments. We'll look at weather, and we'll look at the projected one and done ownership, and we'll go through the players and all that fun stuff. Before we jump into that, let's do the things that I like to do out of the gate. So here's the weather forecast. I'll tell you what, it ain't looking that great. But particularly on Sunday. Sunday is when this really kicks up to, sustained. I mean, also it's ugly there right now, but Thursday and Friday look a lot better. Saturday looks medium, and then Sunday looks like 16-mile-an-hour winds, gusts up to 30 miles an hour, and everything's exposed there. They're expecting more than an inch of rain. Monday doesn't look good. Tuesday doesn't look good. Wednesday doesn't look good. Thursday doesn't look good. I'm not even going to put it out in the ether, but do you remember a couple of years ago when this was a very similar forecast? We knew about it all week long. We bet Wyndham Clark as he was finishing out on 18 on Saturday night with the idea that they might not play their final round. Sure enough, they did not play the final round. It was shortened to 54 holes. Wyndham Clark is declared your champion, and the bets are paid out as long as you got it in while there was still some golf to be played. So I don't want to put that out there. The Sunday and next week forecast looks really bad. This could obviously change over the course of the next couple days. This is a very volatile region of weather this time of year. We will see, but with a smaller field and knowing what this forecast is, I would hope there is some proactivity to get this championship completed, because I mean, you see it right here. So the next week looks like crap. What are they going to get? A half an inch of rain every day? I don't know about that. All right. One and done. Projected ownership. We have come together as a community to figure this out a little bit. So I've been showing the last, basically since the start of 2026, this dashboard on Pool Genius, because they do projected popularity for ownership. And I was on here like, oh, I wonder what these dots mean. And I know more dots are better. Well, I'm dumb. And a very keen watcher said, Rick, they have a glossary to tell you what those dots mean. Very helpful. Thank you. So 4 dots is projected at 15% or higher. 3 dots is 8 to 14. 2 is 4 to 7%. 1 is 1 to 3%. And no dots is 1%. The other thing is, if you just hover over top of it, it tells you that. Okay. Only took me a month to figure that out, and I wasn't the one that figured it out. So now we've got a better idea of what this looks like. So here's what they're projecting. They're projecting Justin Rose being the most popular one and done selection, more than 15%. Siwoo Kim and Viktor Hovland somewhere between 8 and 14%, with Russell Henley, Jason Day, McNeely, Patrick Cantlay, Hideki Matsuyama, and Tommy Fleetwood somewhere between 4 and 7%. My opinion is that Russell Henley will be higher than this. If you're going to give me Russell Henley, a guy that has won a signature event on a golf course that is really good for me, maybe I'm the only one that thinks this, and he's somewhere between 4 and 5% projected ownership in one and done, I'm going to smash that spot. And I think others would too. So that feels a touch low on Russell Henley. The rest of it I can get behind. Justin Rose, coming off of the win at Torrey, going back to one of the greatest places for him. Jason Day, I think, would normally be used higher, and I think he will be used more here, but he's also been used a lot. I bet you he's already the most used golfer between Torrey and Amex and like the success that he's had. He might already be the most used golfer, but I still think that will be a little bit higher as well. Finally, our listener league, the Rick Run Good Tiers contest, is about half full at the moment with 20 hours to go. I just dropped my entries in there. $25,000 guaranteed. Somebody's going to win $3,100, pays out the top 100 people. And what you do is you pick one golfer from each of 6 tiers, and your best 5 scores count. Shall we? Let's start. Robert says, hey, Rick, loving the radar tool. Oh, do you have the ability to load the top 100 or the Pebble field? All right, I'm just going to be straight up honest with you, Robert. I'm having a problem with this tool right now. There is actually more data than I've ever consumed before, and it's breaking some of my connections. So I've been working on this, and I'm usually very quick at being able to fix problems like this. I have not been able to fix this one yet. So I apologize to you. I'm hoping to have this fixed tonight, like as soon as we get off here. It's my top priority. So I hope to have this rectified and then figured out for the future. But I will admit, it's giving me problems right now. I got to figure it out. Adam says, I'm in a 2-1, 2 and done season long league. Right now I have Jason Day slotted. What are your thoughts on Day this week? Rose and Henley are intriguing too. Yeah, you are naming what are probably the 3 most popular golfers. My opinion on Jason Day is as follows. He's been very good in 2026. You should have really liked him before Torrey Pines, and he did nothing at Torrey Pines that should change your opinion. He gained 4.2 strokes on approach at Torrey, 2.7 on approach at the American Express. That's only in 2 rounds. And this is one of the best golf courses on planet Earth for him. He's done everything but win here. If you go to Course Horses and just rip every single year for everybody in this field at Pebble, you're going to see that despite not winning, Jason Day has gained 2.16 strokes per round, which is the most of anybody. Justin Rose is next, 1.74. It's why you're seeing him pop up as a good one and done candidate. Patrick Cantlay, only 9 starts compared to some of these other guys, but 1.6 strokes per round there. This also does include the US Open in 2019, which was held at Pebble Beach. So I am hoping that people forget Jason Day exists, because there is nothing that has changed my opinion about him from the last couple of weeks. Do you think Viktor Hovland's not so great off the tee stats could prevent him from winning this week? I think I have a lot of problems with that statement. So first and foremost, he lost 2.5 strokes off the tee in Phoenix. That is true. He's been phenomenal off the tee on the DP World Tour. Maybe you're only looking at PGA Tour stats, but that does not tell the whole story, especially for a guy who had an injury and then played on the DP World Tour. He gained over 3 strokes in India off the tee. He gained 2.3 at the Nedbank. He gained 1.6 in Dubai. And he's talked about the new driver fitting that he's in. I think the model that he's in now, don't quote me on this, 440, 445. I don't know what the numbering is on Ping these days, but the new driver that he's into seems to be working a little bit better. He also does not necessarily need to hit driver on every hole here. He's very aggressive, but he doesn't need to do that. So I think I take umbrage, with almost every part of that question. I don't think that's going to be the reason that stops him from winning or playing really well this week. Pick your trio: Tommy, Victor, and Campbell, or Lowry, Gerard, and one of either Xander or Day. Lowry, Gerard, and one of Xander or Day. And quite honestly, it's probably Day, which is kind of sick. I like Brian Campbell. Brian Campbell's in a lot of like my Scotty lineups, which I think makes sense. But Tommy, Victor, both good. I think Lowry and Gerard are great. That trio, I was going to say might have the 3 best golfers in it. That's probably not true, but it's very, very close between Tommy, Victor, Lowry, Gerard. and it's not very close between either Jason Day and Xander Schauffele and Brian Campbell. Bridgman, Connors, or McCarty, pick one. Without knowing at all what this is in regards to, let's just go with Bridgman because it gives me an opportunity to point out that he is one of the very few golfers to have top 20s in all of his starts in 2026. He's done it 3 times, T4, T13, T18. He is a little reliant on the putter. That's not the end of the world here. And he has been positive in the 2 ball striking categories for each of his first 3 starts. This is a pretty good spot for him to, get loose, right? Start stretching those legs, coming around the home turn, Seabiscuit, whatever. Okay. It feels like a pretty good spot for him. Did Sung J M disappear? Why hasn't he played events this year? Yeah, I don't know. I thought I had heard like 3 different times he's coming back. He's, I thought it was like, oh, we'll see him at Amex. Oh, we'll see him at Torrey. Oh, we'll see him at whatever. I don't know. I think he's playing Genesis which is next week, because Willie Wilcox, who's his caddy, I'm pretty sure is in LA and getting ready for Genesis. So I think we're going to see him next week. I really don't know what has kept him out of professional golf for this long. Who are your core players this week? Again, this is very much open to interpretation, but Russell Henley probably runs the gamut for me, where I'm going to have him in a lot of one and done. I'm going to have him in a lot of fantasy lineups. I have bet on him to win this week. Like, he runs the gamut for me. Then, of course, I'm going to try to find ways to get exposure to Scotty Scheffler, who I think is the best player in the world. I think that I'm going to, in game theory situations, be right back on Hideki Matsuyama, who is like half the ownership of Siwoo Kim projected as of right now. Then I'm going to fill it out with, the Bergers and the Lowrys and the Gerards and I'm going all the way down to Brian Campbell, who is the min price in DFS. That's who I will build around quite a bit, but context matters a lot in that question. It says, can we get a deep dive on Nick Taylor? Yeah, there was actually another Nick Taylor question. I think it said, can you talk me off of Nick Taylor? Probably not. I'm slightly bullish on Nick Taylor. Played well at the Nedbank, has got 3 straight top 28 finishes. Nothing overly crazy, but a T13 at the Sony. The putter's really good, which is nice to see because I think that's a very good weapon for him. And he's quite honestly hitting it. It's a fairly complete game right now in 2026. And obviously he won here, a little bit mixed bag in terms of results, but you like to see that and a couple other results here. So I don't think Nick Taylor is the greatest play in the whole world. I think that he's a good play, and I think he's interesting. $7,400, 5.6%. If you wanted to bet him, go for it. When he gets in the mix, he's a winner. Yeah, I would not mind that. Thoughts on Tommy and one and done? I'm going to wait. Tommy is probably the 3rd best player in the world. I'm going to use him somewhere where I feel more comfortable. So the end of his year was fantastic. He won in India, 2nd in Abu Dhabi, 3rd in Dubai. Then when the calendar flipped, he's played 2 events on the DP World Tour. He played 2 events in Dubai. They were okay, 25th and 41st, but that's below Tommy Fleetwood's standards. So, takes some time off, maybe knocks a little bit of rust off. Now he travels to the States. There might be a pretty large weather impact. If the wind is just blowing on everybody, you might just get some bad luck. I will probably just wait to see Tommy play a little bit better and then deploy him at a big event. I mean, hell, I'll play Tommy Fleetwood at the US Open. What do I care? Right? I think he's that good. So I don't need to do it off of these 2 results at a golf course that I feel mostly indifferent on for him. McCarthy or Hisatsune? I mean, we can run this in the head-to-head matchup tool. My brain says it's Rio time. Denny, I love that Denny putts the way that he does, but you know, there's other concerns there. Rio's just been a very, very strong golfer. So let me run this real quick. It's going to take a second. I'm running a lot of different things right now. Might take, and this runs like 10,000 simulations. So might take a second here just to compare these two. Let's see what this says. I've got a pretty wide window open right now, 100 rounds, which is probably too much for Rio. He's played his better golf more recently. Let's see what it says. Yeah, 58% Denny, 41% Rio. If I shorten this up and go to like 36 rounds, I wonder what this looks like. Probably flips Rio. Maybe not. Denny 60 and 30. Am I over? See, this is why I like to do that. What am I missing about Denny here that the model likes so much? Let's go take a look. Yeah, I mean, the putter. The putter's really good. These aren't, I mean, they're bad profiles, but they are kind of high floor profiles where even though he's been bad, his finishes are still, you know, he's not missing a ton of cuts. I think the Rio stuff is so much better than this. Let's take a peek here real quick. I didn't want to get this deep into it, but my God, look at this. I mean, back-to-back complete gains. Played well at the American Express. Probably has never played here before. He hasn't. Yeah, I think these guys are in different classes right now. Can we run a model? Okay. Custom model, rickrungood.com. This is all my website, by the way. Last 24 rounds. Last 24 rounds. So we are going strokes gain round 1 for 25. We are going... Oh, wow. Strokes gain round 1 relative for 25. 30 on course history and 30 on scrambling. So this is Toronto's... That's his username. This is clearly like a first round model. And then 30 on course history. 20 on course history, sorry. Because that equals 100. All right, so your round 1 model is Scheffler, Cantlay, Ludwig, Keegan, Xander, Rose, Jaeger, Victor, Nick Taylor, Russell, Henley. Yes, we're looking at Rio as a DFS option. Just showed his profile. Looks really good. What are your thoughts on Fitzpatrick as a one-and-done play? I might need a little convincing on that. It's probably going to be not owned at all. This is better than I thought he played in Phoenix. A very quiet 9th place finish where he gained in both ball striking categories every single day. Gained from tee to green at least a stroke every single day. He won on the DP World Tour 3 starts ago. His history here is not very good, which is really the only issue. But isn't he playing much better golf now than he was basically the last couple of years that he's come in here? Michael, I was ready to write that off. I don't think I'm quite as ready to write that off anymore. 5th best player in the world over the last 50 rounds, or at least in this field, excuse me, over the last 50 rounds, gaining 1.6 strokes per round, doing it in a complete fashion. Okay. Yeah. All right. You got me. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm okay with that. Can we run a model? 35 on weighted strokes gained last 30. All right. Hold on a second. Let me get back to my model. I think I closed it out. So 30 rounds, 35 on weighted strokes gained total. Yeah. I know. Clear the weights. Get rid of this. Okay. 35, 15 on strokes gained putting. 15 on strokes gained approach between 50 and 100 yards. So we've got to do it like that. 15 on short courses. I don't know how I started just doing other people's models. it's kind of fun. I don't know how it happened. 10 on POA putting, 10 on driving accuracy. All right. This model is Scotty Scheffler, Russell Henley, Victor. Let me start again. Scotty Scheffler, Russell Henley, Ricky Fowler, Jason Day, Mav McNeely, Ben Griffin, Cam Young, Jake Knapp, Viktor Hovland, Hideki Matsuyama. That's a kind of a murderer's row. How do you see the weather affecting the scoring and who will benefit from such conditions? God, you guys bullied me into doing the wind data, so we might as well use it right now, right? So moderate to strong winds, 2026, 2025, 2024, 2023. Are we comfortable with that? Minimum 10 starts. I mean, this looks like the best players in the world to me, but it's Scotty, Tommy, Rory, Xander, Colin, Patrick Cantlay, Lucas Glover would be an outlier. Henley, Connors would be an outlier. Believe it or not, Denny McCarthy is up here. Alex Noren, Aaron Rye, Harry Hall. Okay, so what do you see here? Just from those top like 15 names, you are either just one of the best players, and it doesn't matter what conditions you're in. You are a bona fide flusher, which makes sense because when you are in the wind, what plays the most is solid contact. So that's Glover, Henley, Connors, or that includes Rye. Or you're like the best putter in the world, which I guess maybe if you're, I'm trying to think how this would work. Maybe if you're, maybe you're missing more greens, maybe you're scrambling more, maybe that's a way to separate yourself. So like Harry Hall, Denny McCarthy are on the list. The real outlier, in my opinion, is kind of Alex Noren, who is not, I mean, he's very good. He's a well-rounded player, but he's not the best putter in the world. He's not a pure flusher. He's just like a grinder. So to me, that is like the name that jumps out as Grind City to me. Is there any way you can rank guys in this field in driving accuracy and or strokes gained off the tee when clubbing down? Yeah, I mean, so the fastest way to do it during a live chat would just be basically this. What I'll do is I'll just go to short golf courses, right? So we'll go to course length short, which I believe I have set as 7,100 yards and shorter. And then we can go to strokes gained off the tee. And it's Scotty, Keith Mitchell, Rory McIlroy, Kevin Yu, Viktor Hovland, Rico Hoey, Johnny Vegas, Siwoo Kim. Again, they're pretty good off the tee players anyway. I'm trying to think what like Keith Mitchell is probably a little bit of an outlier. Kevin Yu, a little bit of an outlier. Alex Smalley would probably be a little bit of an outlier. And that list, Aaron Rye probably being a little bit of an outlier on that list. Sam Stevens to an extent. So yeah, there are about a million ways that I could do that, but let's just start there for now. My betting card, which should not matter to you at all, is currently Russell Henley. And that is it in the outright market. I will probably, I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to bet Scotty Scheffler. Okay. And if I'm just going to go to battle with Scotty and Rory. I bet Scotty last week. He did everything he possibly could to lose that golf tournament and play horrible, and he finished second. I cannot describe how crazy it is. So Russell Henley, and I'm still waiting. I will probably do one way or another. I will probably do Shane Lowry, like 65-1. Will probably be on there. I would consider Ryan Gerard at like 60-1. If I don't go with Scotty, I might load up on some of these other guys. But then it's mostly just like the top 10s and top 20s and stuff like that, which is more my bread and butter than the outrights are. Okay, I did lump some of these questions together, which is nice. Okay, so Steven Yeager has already popped up in one of the, I forget what we ran, but Steven Yeager's name has already popped up. Maybe it was one of those models, or maybe it was short courses or wind players or something like that. Steven Yeager can look like the best player on the planet and the worst player on the planet in back-to-back weeks. And he's basically done that. You know, the American Express wasn't very good. He was fantastic at the Farmers, and he had 3 really solid rounds in Phoenix before kind of giving it up on the weekend. I am cautiously optimistic. I like Yeager's game. I liked what I saw last week. I liked what I saw the week before that. I didn't like what I saw on Sunday, and I don't like what I see in his course history, but he's very cheap in all formats. He is not expensive. There is not a lot of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like opportunity cost in getting yourself exposure to Steven Yeager in most scenarios. It's not like you're picking him for one and done. So I like that, but I'm scared. Is Vic a good one and done option? He is probably, so if I were to look at this just completely objectively or subjectively, it's subjective. If I just give you my opinion on this, who I think, and without, no, I guess I'll include everything. If Russell Henley is going to be 5% owned, he is by far the best one and done play. I think he is going to be well more owned than that, but that's step one. I think Justin Rose and Jason Day are probably 2 really good options, maybe the second and third best options. And I think Viktor Hovland is probably the 4th best option. And then I think there's kind of a gap. I'm not going to use Scotty. I'm not going to use Rory just yet. I'm not going to use Tommy just yet. I'm not going to use Goddard just yet. Fitzpatrick is decent. I think that Hideki is a really good one. I used Hideki 2 weeks ago and got the least out of him. He did okay. Like, I think it was like 11th or something. Last week, he got $1 million, which was fantastic. And this week, I think he is very, very live to win this golf tournament. So those I think are like the main plays. And yes, Victor is one of them. Course history is pretty strong. I don't have my sticky chart up, but it is, you see a lot of guys with success. Actually, how fast can I get this sticky chart? You see a lot of guys with a lot of good results and a lot of bad results, right? We just saw Yeager like 6 straight years, pretty bad in all of them. We've got your Jason Days, your Jordan Spieths, all that. How fast could I conceivably get this graph up? I'm looking at my like where I build my graphics for like social media. I swear I had a sticky. I know I have it in here somewhere, but I've got like hundreds of pages. Oh, wait. No, not that. Oh, this one. Is this what I want? I don't know if this is it. I don't know if this is what I was thinking of. This doesn't look familiar to me. All right, I'm gonna hold off on that. I don't think that didn't look familiar to me, and I don't want to spend any more time looking for it. But in general, I think this is. I'm not going to besmirch them for having zero history, but I do think it's pretty important. You know, you're playing to a similar spot. It's a strategic golf course, little tiny greens, short game areas that I think experience matters. Reading the greens, I think experience matters. Playing with how the wind comes off the water, I think is different. I think it kind of matters. Do you feel betting top 10s and 20s is more beneficial than just doing overall winners? Almost certainly. Yes. Where can I get one of the garden gnomes you have behind you? Augusta National, the week of the Masters, and you better be first in line because they're going to be sold out every day in about 10 minutes. Live for the first time, it's Wednesday afternoon. How much does first PGA Tour event of the season impact your view on a player? Pretty little. It probably depends on the player, but like, last week there were comments that were like, "Oh, Victor's like making his debut." I'm like, Victor's he's played on the DP World Tour. He's been playing all offseason. Rory McIlroy has played a ton of golf since the Ryder Cup. He's comfortable on the PGA Tour. I'm trying to think of an example who would be like, who is not, it's a signature event. Like everybody's, if it was a guy who's been playing on the DP World Tour and he has like 5 PGA Tour starts in his career and now he's coming over, I might feel a little bit different about that. This is not that. Every single one of these are signature. Every single one of these guys is constantly playing in the biggest event. So I'm this week specifically, I'm really not that worried about it. And I am generally not worried about it. I think Ryan Gerard is, and I'll just show you this. I mean, Ryan Gerard is probably one of the most mispriced guys. Is that I understand it's a signature event. He has earned his way into this signature event, obviously, with his play last year. His start to 2026 is only bettered by Scotty Scheffler and Chris Gotterup. 3 starts, average finish is 5th. Metrics could not be any better. Finds the middle of the club face if you're worried about wind and you're worried about that type of stuff. Really, really sound from Ryan Gerard. Can he win this? There's a lot of win equity tied up in Scotty and Rory and these other guys. There's a lot of win equity tied up there. But yeah, I believe Ryan Gerard is good enough to win a signature event. How does the approach for one and done differ this week with it being a signature event? It's go time. So maybe I put it in my newsletter, which went out this morning, but not this edition, like a previous edition. The way to win one and done is not piling up 8 wins in regular events. It's not. It is getting the SIGs right. Like hard stop. Okay. Now you get 12 of them. You probably have to find like 3 winners. If you want to win a big one, if you're in a much smaller one, like shouldn't be a problem. Oh, by the way, I should mention, because I did have people ask me, I get emails all the time. There is another one and done. So the Ship It guys have their one and done on Splash starting this week. It's guaranteed for $150K. It's $100 entry. So it's a cheaper way to get in with still a big first prize, which is $20,000. That is going off this week. So I should probably mention that. You got to get the signature. So I'm not waiting around. I'm not using Scotty or Rory, but damn be sure I'll be using them later in a signature event. Probably not a major championship, probably a signature event. I'm going to use Russell here. Russell, to me, is a top 5 player in the world who can win an event, and this is the best one for him. So that's my opinion. And the data backs that up. This is actually interesting. Oh, I jumped ahead. Crap. I lost my spot. Crap. I hate when I do this. Hold on. I can get myself back. This is a DFS question. Rory, Hideki, Nick Taylor, or Tommy, Bobby, Lowry. Oof. Rory, Hideki, Nick Taylor. I like Lowry a lot. I like Tommy medium amount. But I love Hideki and I love Rory. So that one. Henley and Bridgman or McIntyre and Lowry. Also kind of a same problem. I like Lowry again, and McIntyre I just left out of the other one, so I probably have to leave him out of this one as well. So Henley and Bridgman. Scotty pick for one and done doesn't seem like a waste if he doesn't win. Wait, seems like a waste if he doesn't win. Yeah, probably. But listen, coming from somebody who's gotten like $200,000 out of him each of the last 2 years, I would take about a $2 million second prize right now. If if you pick Scotty this week and he gets $2 million, there will probably be events later that he gets more, but you are still very, very good shape. Very good shape. If you get $2 million from Scotty Scheffler, because you could also get $200,000 from Scotty Scheffler like I have each of the last 2 years. I think I used him at Riviera last year. Crap. And no, last year I think I used him at the Players, T20. And then I think the year before that I used him at the Riviera where he got crap. So there's always that. Where on your website can I find average round 1, round 2, round 3, and round 4 score? I don't do a lot of score stuff because, like, is a 68 good? Depends, right? But on the Holy Grail, you can sort by round and have it by strokes gained, which I think is better for any time period that you want, for any field, any combination of players that you want. It's also on the custom model if you want it to. Henley under 69.5 strokes, Scotty under 67.5. Without knowing without taking a guess what the scoring average is going to be, under Russell, over Scotty, but close. Can you run a model with the following stats? Yeah, sure. Why the hell not? All right. Clear the weights. Delete the video. 50 rounds. Okay. This is Nate's model. God, these are always so hard to read. Okay, here we go. Birdie or better, 15. Strokes gained approach, 15. Driving accuracy, 15. Course history, 5. 5 little weights. Putting on POA, 15. Short course is 10. What happened, Nate? I'm only at 75. What happened? 15, 25, 30, that's 55 plus 5, 70, 80. What did I miss? Accuracy for 15, birdie percentage, approach play. Wait, no. Strokes gained approach. Course history. What did I miss? God, sorry, guys. What did I miss here? Birdie or better is 15. Strokes gained approach is 15. Driving accuracy is 15. Oh, strokes gained around the green is 15. That threw me off. Approach 15. Okay. So now I'm 10 short. Shh. I don't know what I'm missing, and I'm sorry. I'm not going to waste everybody else's time. I'm going to throw 10 more on short course. I'm sorry, Nate. I don't know what I'm doing here. Scotty, Tommy, Victor, Hideki, Siwoo, Jason Day, Russell Henley, Justin Rose, Ben Griffin, Fitzpatrick. That was an absolute disaster. Sorry. We need the BetCast swag available. So I don't know how I feel about this. I guess I feel pretty good about it. So they gave us that swag. I like to wear my own stuff, right? I like to wear my sweater and like feel cool and whatever. But they gave us some swag that was actually pretty cool, and we're wearing that. So now I don't even really have to pack the 11 more weeks that I'm going down to Florida. I can just pack, like, I don't have to think about it. I just have my like wardrobe, which is very nice. I've never worn a bomber jacket before. I felt super cool. So that's fun. And also the studio is freezing. It's like 60 degrees in there. So hoodies, sweatshirts, jackets, I'm layering. They gave us t-shirts. I'll never wear them because I'm freezing in that studio. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. That's really cool. Strokes gained in Pro-Ams for the top of this board. All right. So let's do back to what? 20. So the Pro-Ams are Pebble, Amex. Is that all they have now? Torrey's a course rotation, but not a Pro-Am. RSM is a course rotation, but not a Pro-Am. Are those the only Pro-Ams now? For the top of the board, let's see. Sort by top players. Scotty, excellent. Rory, 0.79. Tommy, 0.46. Victor, 0.57. Hideki really struggles. Goddard really struggles. Thorbjornsen really struggles. They don't have many starts. Am I missing a... I don't know if I'm missing a one or not. DraftKings is giving a 20% boost for a top X finish. Who is your safest play that won't finish low? Let me look at their odds. I can pick any top that I want. So like top 20, including ties. What if you did Gerard plus 152, top 20, including ties with a boost? That would make me feel pretty good. I know not about Max McGreevy, says Zach. Well, let's fix that. Let's fix that right about now. It has been a decent start. He missed the cut at the Sony, 27th at the American Express, 30th at the Farmers, 48th in Phoenix. You know what I don't like about this? A couple of things I don't like about this. He's not playing as well as he was at the end of last year, which is not a problem. I mean, he was excellent at the end of last year. So I don't want to beat him up for that. It's a lot of inconsistent play. Not only is it like last week, 2 really bad rounds. The week before, 1 horrendous round. The week before that, 1 bad round. The week before that, 1 horrendous round. So not only is it that, which is the inability to put 4 rounds together, but also look at like last week he loses 3 strokes putting. Okay. The week before that, he loses a stroke and a half ball striking. Okay. The week before that, he loses a stroke around the green. The week before that, he loses off the tee and with the putter and around the green. It's like, what the like, Max, what are we doing? Like, not only are the results inconsistent from like a day-to-day standpoint, but also the how he does it is very inconsistent, which I hate. Russell Henley seems like a top 5 to 10 lock. I hope so, buddy. Give me a reason not to bet Chris Goddard up in a tournament where the wind and weather could play a factor. All right, I did write about this in my newsletter this morning. If you're not signed up, it is completely free. It always is. It goes out every Wednesday morning. The link's in the description. Sign up. It goes to your inbox. I wrote about this morning. Chris Goddard is a statistical nightmare for the rest of the tour. He's winning golf tournaments without being perfect. That is very rare. He lost strokes on approach at the Sony and won. Very, very rare. He lost strokes putting in Phoenix and won. Pretty rare. He did both of those in his last 3 starts alone. The driver, which has gotten so much better. It was really good a year ago. It was really good and even better 6 months ago. Now it is, now he's the best driver on tour. From like May on, he's the best driver in the world. And it is giving him such an outstanding floor that he does not have to be perfect anywhere else, and he can still win. It's fantastic. Now, I like the weather and the wind conversation that Coach is talking about here. I worry a little bit that this is one of the golf courses that is not going to allow him to lean into his strength, though Rory McIlroy proved me wrong on that last year. So I'm not betting against Chris Goddard up in any scenario. This is really strong stuff. If he drives it like this, he's just going to be in the mix a lot because there is no other way. I was about to watch the Pebble Beach Pro-Am until I saw your live. Did you get a chance to think more into the 3-ball betting matchup segment? I will admit I have not thought about much. Also saw you on the Betcast. Thank you. I flew home Monday. That took all day Monday. Tuesday was catch up. Wednesday is right now. I've not thought about much else. I'm going back down to Florida for Riviera next week. And if you saw the way the setup is, so there's 2 studios. There's the main studio with like the couch. And then I'm in a separate studio by myself where they come to me. So I buzz into the producer and I'm like, hey, I've got something on Hideki. And they're like, let's bring in Rick. I'm like, hey, Hideki's about to shoot a 30 for the first time in his career, blah, blah. Okay. Riviera, I'm on the couch. So like I'm in like every segment. I'm in like the whole show, except for when I take my breaks, my lunch breaks or whatever. But yeah, so that'll be fun. I have not thought about 3 balls. It's on my list. Rank the following, asks Ken. I'm going Lowry, Berger, Straka, though I think that's pretty close. And you could convince me. No, I think that's right. Berger, I have stepped on the rake with Daniel Berger 5 or 6 times in the last 2 years where I'm like, he's back. He's back. It's coming. And he's been on the verge of it. And it just never felt like he was able to really keep it going. But I'll just say it one more, like he's back. It's coming. I don't know. He was fantastic in Phoenix. This is a place he's got, I think, only 3 starts at. He's got a win, a 5th, and a 10th. They were years ago. This is a great spot for him, but he has fooled me many a times in the last 2 years. Lowry, I'm big in on. I think this is a perfect spot for him. Straka, I think it's okay. You know, Straka is a sound wedge player who should excel at a golf course like this. We're seeing him play. I mean, he was miserable at the Amex. He was a lot better. Gained in the last 3 rounds and was like a dead 0 on Thursday in Phoenix. That is exciting. His results here are getting better. Cut 26th and 7th, but the cut was back in 2019. So yeah, I think they're all pretty good options, but I would still rank them Lowry, Berger, Day. Thank you, brother. Yeah, okay. So again, I will admit, I don't even remember what I ran on Monday. What model I ran on Monday. It has been crazy town. But if I were to run a model right now, this is what I would do. I would keep it pretty short term, like last 30 rounds, 28 rounds, something like that. I would use a little bit. I still would use the weighted strokes gain stuff, but not a lot. Like all these guys play against each other all the time, but because we're getting Rory and Fleetwood and these guys that have played a lot of DP World Tour stuff in those last 28 rounds, I am going to use the weighted strokes gained, but not a lot. 15, which for me is very, very low. I'm then going to do a little bit of a combination here of strokes gained approach, basically 150, like 125 to 175-ish. So the average approach here is like 150 yards. So I'm going to do 125 to 150 for 15 and 150 to 175 for 15. And then I'm going to do around the green. I'm going to do 8 on scrambling because that does include putting. That's obviously important, but a better stat would be to put like 12 on strokes gained around the green. Okay. So then what I'll do is I will do, so I want a little bit of driving accuracy, right? So let's put 15 on accuracy. So I've got accuracy, I've got weighted strokes gained, I've got my approach, I've got my around the green. I will put 10 on POA. Well, I'll put 8 on POA putting, 6 on short golf courses, and 6 on course history. So this is to me, like at this point of the week, like a pretty well thought out model. Want to guess that Scotty Scheffler's number 1? Yeah, he is. Scheffler, Russell Henley, Hideki Matsuyama, the holy trinity for this week. Come on, baby. Like, God, they're all like, if those 3 aren't 1, 2, and 3, I don't know what's gonna. I don't know. Victor, Siwoo, Lucas Glover, Ryan Gerard, Ricky Fowler. Fowler's played a lot better golf than you might realize. Keegan and Jason Day. I'm just going to like favorite all these guys. I don't know why, but I guess I could just save this model so I don't forget it. Actually, I am going to save it because I still need to run a bunch of lineups. So this is going to be my Pebble Wednesday model. I love this model. Yeah. Yep. Love it. Okay. That's what I would do. I love like the randomness. Where has Sebastian Munoz lost the most strokes at his previous Live Adelaide? All right. Believe it or not, I should be able to figure that out. So Munoz, I've got the Live data. I've got European Tour, PGA Tour, Korn Ferry Senior Tour, Asian Tour. So his Live Adelaide, he's been hemorrhaging on the putting surfaces. Lost 7 strokes putting at the Grange 2023, 3.6 in 2024, and 2 last year. Now you have to remember, those were only 3 rounds, so it's even worse than it seems. They will play 4 rounds this time. Is there a way to model strokes gained on soft courses? No, but Doug, let me bounce this back to you. We'll work through this together. How would you define it? Because that's really the only, I've got every shot and all the data in the world. How do you define it? I would say, and you've got to correct me if I'm wrong here, X amount of rain in the Y amount of days before the round that we're looking at. So if we look at Thursday's round, there was at least 1 inch of rain in one of the 2 days before. It also probably matters, how much rain they've had this year. I don't know. It's just quantifying it is the problem. It's not the data. It's just how are we going to do a soft course? My personal win percentage on Scotty is here in the tournament predictor. I think it's going to be pretty high, but it's not going to be as high as. So he won my simulation 24% of the time. Russell Henley won it 5.5%, second most. Everything I've done with Henley this week has been crazy. Rory third, 3.7%. Justin Rose 3.6, et cetera, et cetera. But Scotty won it 24% of the time over 10,000 simulations. I'm not. So Dylan says, am I crazy for using Scotty this week in one and done? I'm off to a slow start. No. I wouldn't do it, but he's playing great. It's a signature event. He's not going to be very popular. Maybe we should just use him. If you really want to, Dylan, I think it's fine. I guess I'll wait. But is it really that bad? How bad could it be? Nobody's going to use him. Some of these questions. They do crack me up, though. The $7,800 to $7,300 range. Top 2 plays and top 2 to avoid. Oh, boy. Okay, so that is Morikawa to Sahith. I'm avoiding Morikawa and Harris English. I'm playing Sahith and Gerard with honorable mentions to Cootie and Sep and Ricky. Top 3 in the 6K range. Brian Campbell, $6,000 even. Chris Kirk, Ryan Fox, I think are safely top 3. Bridgman would be in the top 5. And I think Jaeger would be in the top 5. I don't know if this is true or not, but it says, I think Sung Jae has been out because he got injured during his mandatory military service. I have no idea. And I don't know if Colin is speculating or knows something, but I don't know. Watch the Betcast. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Can we get a deep? Yeah. So I did the Fitzpatrick stuff. It's better than I thought. I'm a little bit worried about his history here, but he's been playing better now than he has been last couple of years. I think it's okay. I appreciate that. Ooh, a JT. Whoops. A JT Poston and a Bobby Mack deep dive. Let's do it. Definitely better for Poston, which is nice because I hated the way he finished last year. American Express was fantastic on approach. Phoenix was good on approach, good with the putter, and pretty good off the tee. I'll tell you what, this is not bad. Historically, accurate driver who is great on approach and can heat up with the putter. This is not bad. I don't fully trust him, but that's not bad. The Robert McIntyre stuff just kind of scares me a little bit. We'll pull it up here. Lost 5 strokes on approach at the American Express, and that's only 2 rounds. So losing 2.5 a round is obviously not good. His history here is a T40 where he lost a bunch of strokes putting. That's not good. I just need to see more. I think $8,200 is a pretty steep price to pay, and there's guys that are in a much better spot. The Brian Campbell conversation for me is as follows. I liked what I saw last week outside of the final round. I like that he gained 2 strokes on approach and 2 with the putter, or 3 with the putter. I like that this is a golf course that really does not matter about how far you hit it. And I think there are probably 2 places in the entire world to play Brian Campbell: here, now, and Harbor Town. Because he's in the Siggies, right? Because he's a winner and won twice last year. I don't think I'm even remotely considering him anywhere else. Not John Deere, where he's going to defend. Not Mexico, where he's going to defend. I think those are the only 2 spots. We'll see. We'll find out. I'm in on Fowler and Novak. I find to be just impossible to predict. Day in and day out, week in and week out. It is. I mean, look at his last. I'm just gonna. This is since the Open. -4, -2, +6. -18, -5, +7.5. -8. Even. +10, -8. So just in the last 2 weeks alone, an 18 strokes gain difference in tournaments. I don't know what makes him tick. I don't know what doesn't make him tick. I don't know when he plays well and when he doesn't. I can't find any trends or anything of note here. He either has it or he doesn't. When he does, he plays well. When he doesn't, he's like in dead last. So that's unfortunately how I feel. Adam Schenk was on my radar a little bit between, I think it was probably the American Express. You know, I don't know. If you watch the putting, it's really ugly. Like even when he won in Bermuda, there he was like putting one-handed at times. The putter that he's using now looks like it is way too long for him. It's like I'm exaggerating. Looks like he's holding a driver in his hand. He lost 3.5 strokes putting last week. It was all over the yard with the approach play. There's too much going on for me. I too have never seen the without Scotty DFS contest, which is pretty crazy. Yeah. This says, is there a stat that would show historical randomness of an event? I have a stickiness stat, but I am not ready to share it. Luckily, I've answered a lot of these. It's a lot of just like, honestly, a lot of Hovland questions. A lot of, can you run my model? Though I think there's a lot of duplicates in here because I think I ran these models. I recognize these names quite a bit. Okay. Minwoo deep dive? Haven't done Minwoo. Oh boy. God. I worry about the way he hits his wedges. I worry about the putter. I worry that his best weapon does not get used here as much as he probably should. I worry that lost strokes off the tee here last year. He just worries me. I just want to get him at some place that's wide open with a bunch of thick grass. I wish he would have played at Torrey, but I just do not like this. Oh, okay. I'm pretty high on Patrick Cantlay because I hate myself, right? And I'm a glutton for punishment. But we've got a golfer who is ranking beautifully from tee to green. He's a decent pop putter. He's got some of the best course history on Pebble, on short courses, on courses with small greens. He's got great hands around the green. He's a great with his wedges. I'm the sucker who will get Patrick Cantlay and watch him finish T15 and be in 15th the entirety of the event. Maybe that says more about me than it says about him. But I think it's a great profile. Okay. So I might have to implement a timeout situation. I'm cool with like a little bit of the repeats, but my God, do not spam it like 75 times. Who do you think will have a bounce back week? That's interesting. So we've got to look at what guys in this field who played last week. Okay. So guys in this field who played in Phoenix. And then what I'll do is I'll sort them this way so that we can see. Okay, so guys who played poorly then. Okay, who do I think is going to have a bounce back? Interesting. No. Oh, God. Can I say none of them? Connors probably was really bad last week. I think this is a much better spot for him, and he probably does not go 2 weeks in a row losing strokes on approach. Jordan Spieth for 17 holes on Thursday was fantastic, and then made what? The ugliest triple I've ever, kind of the dumbest triple I've ever seen on Thursday, and then missed the cut on Friday. I guess it's Corey Connors. or Chris Kirk, but if I have to narrow it down to one, I think it's Connors. Of course, that should allow him to get into the ball striking. Again, I don't think he's going to lose strokes on approach twice in a row. Small greens, he can obviously lose a ton of strokes putting. He's done it here every single time he's teed it up. But Poana's hard for everybody, and he probably won't 3-putt as much because they're small. So it's a pretty bad list. I'll be honest with you. When I looked at this list, I thought I was going to see a couple of names that I really liked for this week. I don't really like any of these. Is that a Yard Goats hat? Yes, it is. Hartford Yard Goats. Oh, 12 signature events. That doesn't include the majors, right? It's the 12 PGA Tour signature, or the signature events and the playoff events are the 12 that I'm referring to. And then 4 majors. I think that also includes the players too. So there's 16 events that matter. Hideki's inability to be accurate off the tee last week doesn't concern you here? ? Honestly, not really. So last week is a driver heavy golf course that if you do miss the fairway, you're looking at water, you're looking at desert, right? Like bad stuff. This is not a driver heavy golf course. This is a course that you can play strategic. You can hit a driver if you want, or you can be pretty strategic about it. And you can place it into areas where everybody's coming in from the same spots. And then he is one of the greatest iron players the game has ever seen. That's not an exaggeration. That is not an exaggeration. And by the way, he's got the greatest short game in the world that nobody talks about because he's such a good flusher. And he gained 6 strokes putting last week. So in a world where the thing he did by far the worst last week is less valuable, and the things that he did amazing last week are more valuable, then I would be silly to not be interested in Hideki. It was hard to watch. I mean, I watched every shot he hit this week. It was hard to watch. He was all over the yard with the driver. The playoff was brutal. But he finished second and put together a fantastic stat profile, and one that I think actually translates better this week. Might be wrong, but that's me. People really don't realize how good, if you go to the power rankings, Hideki is, I just have the last 50 rounds set up. I bet you Hideki's the best around the green player in this field. Let's see. Yep. Better than Fitzpatrick, Jason Day, Keegan, and also he's one of the best approach players to ever put his hands on a grip. It's crazy, man. No love. Hideki gets no love. He's fantastic. Oh, I am definitely shelling out some mutes. This is a good question. Marco Penge for me is a monitoring the situation. I would like to see something on tour, and I think his best weapon is mitigated here. Yeah, Morikawa has been really bad. Thank you. Oh, Mina, I am going to rip some mutes in this chat. I'm going Henley and one and done for the most part. It says I'm down to Henley, Knapp, and Viktor. I would probably go Henley, then Viktor, then Knapp. All are decent. I'm using Henley. Probably not using Knapp at a signature event, but do no-cut events affect your DFS lineup at all? I go back and forth on this. I tend to think that I get 4 guaranteed rounds from Brian Campbell. But at the same time, if I'm high on Brian Campbell and I thought he was going to make the cut, wouldn't it be better if there was a cut and other guys would not be around to get those extra points? I'm more in love with Scott. Not that I think Scott's gonna miss a cut, but like you just give these guys 4 rounds. It's absolutely bonkies. Have you talked about Thigala and his recent play? I mean, I'm picking on you, but like all I do is talk about Thigala. I don't think I have today, but like I've got so much season long exposure to Thigala. I've wrote him up in every preseason article. I think I've mentioned him or bet him in some form or fashion every week of this year. So I am in. I am in. Mina's producer pick of the week is Ryo Hisatsune. I'll pull up the I'm not full on tilting like Wyndham at Oakmont. I'm just like slightly tilting. It's just like pet peeve. It's like 2 people who have sent the same question like 40 times. It's if you said something like 3 times, it's not a big deal. I forget where I was. All right. Let me do Chris Kirk. Let me do my build a golfer, and then I will go kick a locker. All right, Chris Kirk. Chris Kirk in my early week stuff popped up a lot. I think it's the combination of the short irons and the scrambling. That's really exciting. The problem is we haven't seen anything good out of him in 2026, right? It's 3 missed cuts. I would categorize them as not disastrous. You know, he gained strokes on approach in each of them. Each one he missed by like 2 shots. It's really not the end of the world, especially to start a new season. But he did longer term. He models really well. I'm not going to get a ton of exposure to Chris Kirk, but I will get some. I like the way he models. I like the way he finished last year. I'm going to give him some grace for his start this year. He's a professional. He's like a seasoned vet, understand what goes into like he nothing about him missing 3 straight cuts is going to affect him in any single way. I think it'll be just fine. My build a golfer for this week. I actually already did it. Where was that comment? Okay. I did something I had never done before. And this is buildagolfer.com. This is Jason Davis, Cam Davis's brother. This is his fantasy site and the Davis boys. So I did something I've never really done before. How do I show my guy? I spent way down on off the tee because 1, I didn't really think it mattered as much. And I picked Brian Campbell, just assuming that he was going to pile up a bunch of fairways hit and all that stuff. And then I've loaded up on Henley approach, Hideki around the green, Tommy putting. And I was like, yeah, that feels good. That feels good. So that's what I did. Scotty was just too expensive. I just kind of wanted to flow. I'm in like 60th, I think, right now. You guys are cracking me up. All right. I can't resist this one. How come no Morikawa? He's still accurate tee to green, and I would think that putting matters less here. Yeah, I don't know. Does it matter less or does it matter more? If it makes it harder for everybody, is that good for the bad putters or good for the better putters? I don't know. I probably think it's better for the good putters. Like, let's look at last week. Even if he gains 3 strokes putting and we give him a 6-shot swing, it's like T25. Give him a 6-shot swing in Sony. Kind of barely makes the cut, or maybe a little bit better than that. again, like even if you take these really bad putting performances and you flip them, it doesn't get him to the top of the board. It doesn't really get him in the mix. There's kind of more problems here. I don't disagree that on paper, this is a great spot for historical Morikawa. I do not disagree with that. But man, this is somebody in the comments said Colin's going to use a tailor-made spider. I don't know if that's true or not. Let's just assume that it is. Great. I want him to try something, but hasn't he tried like a bunch of different putters and a bunch of different putting grips and a bunch of different everything in the last couple of years and still the same results? I also change putters a lot because I'm bad at putting. I'm not a professional golfer. Like I would, he's got to figure out the stroke. I think it's not the putter. It's the putter. I keep saying last question, but then you guys get me on something I want to talk about. Ryan Fox was 8 over in his first 3 holes last week, over 4 days. Doesn't matter if it was the first tee or the 10th tee. Out of the gate, he was 8 over. First 3 holes combined. Holes 4 through 18, 16 under. So let's get off to a better start, Ryan. I liked everything else about his game. I liked the comeback, the bounce back. I think he models pretty well here. I like Fox a lot. $6,400 is very, very cheap. Okay, I'm going to stop. I appreciate you all. I'm going to go get some more work done and get caught up on some things and run some lineups. And we will do it again next week. I think I'm done. Mina, goodbye.